got fired. There was one this week who didn't get fired. What do you think about the Carolina Panthers keeping Matt Rhule?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I think Matt Rhule has had back-to-back double-digit loss seasons, right? He went 5-11 last year and 5-12 this year. Ended the season on a big losing streak. Team does not look good at all. But I will say, when you look at the Panthers roster, they have some good players. I like Brian Burns at defensive end. They got a good secondary. J.C. Horn seems to be a solid player when he's healthy. I like DJ Moore at wide receiver.
Trimble's Anderson too. Yeah.
Robbie Anderson's a big play guy. Tommy Trimble's a solid tight end who I think could grow into a pretty good player. So there's some pieces there. Now they're terrible at quarterback, right? We've covered it at length where you go from Darnold to Walker to Newton to Darnold to Walker to Newton to Darnold to Walker, whatever. It's gone back and forth 50 times in the course of the last 8 games. But they're absolutely terrible at quarterback and absolutely volatile at quarterback. So I think that's what really blew it up. Now, the reason that Rhule wasn't fired is because Tepper, David Tepper is the owner, made his money, his billions in investments. He's a hedge fund guy. So he knows understanding about market timing and value. So he sees his roster right now. He thinks it's got potential. So right now they're undervalued, right? They're not performing well. If he punts on Matt Rhule and fires Matt Rhule and he brings in a new coach, it'd have to be a total rebuild. So that means he'd be selling low, right? He'd be getting rid of their undervalued position right now, and he'd be trying to start all over. You never want to sell low. That's bad investing.
In today's market, you always hold.
Always hold. But and the other side of it is, if they get rid of Rhule, right? Talk about market timing, because of their quarterback situation, because of their division, right? They have Tom Brady. They got to go against Sean Payton and the Saints twice a year.
They're not desirable.
Who's a head coach is going to go to a division where, like, okay, the best quarterback on the roster is Sam Darnold, and I have to start Sam Darnold against Sean Payton and Tom Brady. No, thank you. Not going to happen. So you're going to get another kind of like Matt Rhule-esque of first-time NFL head coach, and you're going to start the process all over again. Look, David Tepper wants no part of that. He's going to give Rhule another year, which I think is smart because Darnold's contract is up in a year. If he can't figure it out and head in the right direction, hey, it's perfect time to blow it up anyway. They're going to have another high pick. They're going to be able to dump all these contracts. Darnold will be gone. They can restart fresh with a new guy. But I think with all that in mind, I think that's why Tepper is sticking with Rhule here.
Yeah, and another reason, or a couple other things I saw. One reason why they shouldn't stick with Rhule is, of the coaches that were fired this past week, this season, Matt Rhule is 0-6 against all of these coaches who were fired. That's a pretty damning stat, if you ask me. But the second part is why they probably will keep them. They fired Joe Brady. That obviously didn't make a difference. And now they've completely gutted the Panthers coaching staff other than Matt Rhule. So now at this point, if he doesn't perform this season, there's literally no other qualm that Rhule could have. We hired you, we got your guy, we gutted the coaching staff. You had to probably have a hand in picking every coordinator that you want. What more could you ask for? So I think Tepper, like you said, is waiting for the right circumstances. And hopefully, I'm assuming they're probably going to go after a quarterback in free agency or the draft or somewhere like that. It seems like they have to.
Yeah, have to, right? I think they have to go get a veteran and maybe go out in the draft, because you definitely can't go with Darnold. You can't go with Darnold and a rookie. Like, that's just a recipe for disaster. I think they have to get after, maybe they go second, third round, get a rookie, and they get a veteran in free agency or something like that.
Yeah, you got to do something. Gardner Minshew's available.
Russell Wilson play? I mean,
yeah, or Gardner Minshew, or I mean, the Ravens backup Tyler Huntley is available.
Tyler Huntley's another guy. Case Keenum, Cleveland.
Who played great.
Kirk Cousins. I mean,
Case Keenum played great last week, so I mean, way better than Baker Mayfield ever played.
I tell you what, the more I think about it, Kirk Cousins may be an interesting fit there too, because rumors are having it that Rhule is trying to target Jay Gruden to be his offensive coordinator, and Jay Gruden was Kirk Cousins' coach in Washington.
So that would be a good fit.
So we could see. I would not be surprised because I think whoever comes to Minnesota, another open job, will want to just get rid of Cousins. I think Minnesota's moving on from Cousins. I think that's actually a likely spot. Now that I think about it more and more, Kirk Cousins in Carolina. I think that's I'll call that my prediction. I think that's actually a pretty good fit.
We'll see. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you ask for at that point? I mean, you got a quarterback who can put up some numbers. I don't see Kirk Cousins as a bad quarterback. I think he's very serviceable. So,
I mean, he's the perfect 8-8 guy, right? He's average. Sometimes they'll have a losing season, sometimes they'll have a winning season, but they're always going to have 7 wins to 9 wins. Always going to be in that range if you got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.